is Steve Parsons. I'm a ski patroller here at Schweitzer. This here with me is Abbey. She's my 5-year-old yellow Labrador Retriever, and she is an Avalanche rescue dog. Ah! Ah, you're gonna be in trouble. Sit. Sit. There you go. I've always wanted an Avalanche rescue dog, so Schweitzer was a perfect place. I was the first patroller to get a new puppy here at Schweitzer. I got Abbey when she was 2 months old. Come here. We hired Jeff. He started our dog program for us with Annie.
My name's Jeff Thompson. I work with Avalanche Rescue Dogs, and I also work as a ski patroller here at Schweitzer Mountain. I've been working with Avalanche Rescue Dogs most of my career for about 20 years. You know, the reason I really moved up to Idaho was to take a job at the Idaho Panhandle Avalanche Center. My real job is forecasting for avalanches, so the Avalanche Rescue Dog and ski patrol kind of all overlap. You know, at a ski area like this, most people don't carry the rescue equipment that they need like you would in the backcountry. So the dogs become a really valuable tool. You know, avalanche beacons and the stuff that we wear make it easier to find people, but if they don't have that, really their best chance is going to be with an avalanche rescue dog.
Anytime you go in the backcountry, you should have your beacon and your shovel and your probe, and you should know how to use them and have a partner so they can dig you up. But there's a lot of people in ski resorts that don't ski with one or just dip just outside our boundary. And so the likelihood is high that we could have a burial in an avalanche with someone without a transceiver. And then without the dogs, our only way is to take our probes and go probe around, make a probe line and see if we can poke them. The dogs, they can respond just as fast as we can with a transceiver. So if we can get them there in a timely manner, we stand a chance at finding the person alive and well. You know, their noses are about 500 times stronger than ours. So for them to smell a full old stinky human in the snow is pretty easy. You know, there's dogs out there that can smell cancer and diabetes and things like that. So, you know, finding a full-on human is pretty easy task for them.
I mean, not only are they a good tool for avalanche rescue, but they just generate so many questions and are such a big piece of the avalanche awareness program, whether it's going to schools or answering questions or just being around all these backcountry skiers. They really facilitate that conversation. Early this season during December when it was storming, you know, we're really thinking about the possibility of using the dogs that day, and so we're really thinking about keeping them ready and kind of have their packs ready to go. So recently we've been getting to work and they spend time in the crate while we have our morning meeting. They are den creatures. They need to have that shutdown time and they need a safe place to do that. And you know, the IPAC dog crates provide that safe place. You know, they're not chintzy plastic crates that we're worried about falling apart. These crates are exactly what they need.
So yeah, having the IPAC dog crates are really nice. Her tail's in the way. We'll start that again. Abbey. We've got a lot of heavy and bulky equipment around these dogs all the time. We're constantly throwing our backpacks, shovels, everything around. So having the IPAC dog crates stationed where we are as well keeps the dogs close to the humans, but it also keeps the dogs protected.
Which is critical to our operations. You know, they can only be so good as long as we manage them.
My name is Leigh Burkaw. I actually moved to Sandpoint for Schweitzer specifically because I met a lot of Schweitzer employees and they were all telling me stories about the culture of working there and skiing there, and I was so charmed and curious. It's honestly embarrassing to me how much Murphy is like me. I mean, the three of us, it's like Murphy is this big one. She has no idea where her body ends. You know, she's kind of shy around strangers. I feel that it's my fault. Abbey and Steve are remarkably similar. Abbey is like extremely focused on her goal, and Steve is very much the reason that she is that way, because he was like, I want an avalanche dog. I want her to be the best one she could possibly be. I think that Annie likes to perform avalanche rescue drills because she's very athletic. For the joy of running, she likes an avalanche rescue drill. And I think that Murphy likes doing avalanche rescue drills for the joy of participating because she sees the other two and she's like, yeah, me too, guys.
You know, different dogs, different personalities, you just kind of roll with that. We're not trying to stomp it out of them or make them all the same. We just identify some of the differences and work with them.
They all have the same basic commands, but they all respond differently to their owners and to their handlers. Abbey is pretty low key most of the time. She's a little wound up now, but she'll usually listen to most people. I guess that's why we work with secondary handlers, so they don't just get involved with just me. Abs, you're just winding up a storm, huh? Yeah. I'm just gonna let you run around because you're not being very helpful.
I get used to my dog, Annie, and then I go to a different ski area and watch another dog, and it's fascinating how different it is. The cues that they alert on, and just the way that they alert, and the way they travel, and the speed. Wouldn't say there's a right and wrong, just a lot of different ways to get it done.
We want as many people to work with the dogs as possible, so if I'm out of position and the avalanche occurs, anybody can bring Abbey to the scene and start her searching. A couple years in the future, we'll probably be looking at getting another puppy, so maybe looking at possible candidates for who's going to get that next puppy.
When they're puppies, we start right away. Really what we're looking at is their enthusiasm finding things. We roll them tennis balls and see how interested they are. Are they the dog in the litter that wants to go for the food, or are they the dog in the litter that wants to go for the tennis ball? We want the tennis ball dogs. We try to get smaller dogs, the smaller, it's not as much wear and tear on their bodies. Their careers will be about a decade, they can go to about 10 years old, it seems like. The team should be able to be certified, their second or third winter. Leigh and Murphy and Steve and Abbey are working on their final certifications right now.
It's taken 3 full years to train Murphy to this point where she can perform avalanche rescues inbounds. I'd really like to see her through her backcountry rescue certification. What that entails is she and I together as a team have 45 minutes to clear 3 to 5 people out of a 300 by 300 foot area. Steve did that drill last year with Abbey, and Abbey was able to clear out 5 people in 25 minutes. That's Steve and his helper shoveling all those people out from underneath the snow too. So shoveling 10 feet of snow out of the way to get them out in time. So it's kind of an intense athletic feat.
Here at Schweitzer, our closest mountains are Silver Mountain and Whitefish over in Montana that have dogs. So what we're trying to do here is just get these other mountains on the same page as us and set up standardized certification process. So if a search and rescue were to happen, no matter if you got a dog from Whitefish or Silver or Schweitzer, all the dogs are going to be trained and tested to the same standard.
Whether it's burying stinky sweaters or actually burying people like we did this morning. Our goal is to make it the most fun thing that these dogs do every day, because that's what generates that drive. And it's not necessarily the finding somebody buried in the snow. You take a Labrador or a Golden Retriever, they like to find things. So that transition from finding a tennis ball in the grass to finding a person buried isn't as hard as some of the other trainings. Dogs have to be good at riding snowmobiles and flying in helicopters, and the handlers themselves need to be well-versed in avalanche rescue, all the facets of avalanche rescue training, and you develop them as a team so that when they show up as a single resource and can be used together. It used to be that we'd carry them in toboggans and snowmobiles primarily, and now we're putting them on shoulders and putting them between our legs. And the dogs are getting stronger and leaner so that they're capable of those sorts of things.
So when we do a burial hole where we hide a human in it, that's kind of the best scenario we can set up that's as close to an avalanche as we can. So with the dogs, we'll take the dogs to the top of the scene that would simulate the crown of the avalanche, and we'll let them start searching from there, since it's easy for us and them to go downhill. And then we're always paying attention to the wind, because the scent is going to come out of the burial hole in a cone, and it will follow the wind out away from that dog hole. That's what the dogs are going to pick up on. As the dogs work down the slope, then when they get closer and they pick up that scent, and they're going to start zeroing in on that scent cone and finding where that scent is coming from. They get to that dog hole, and just like she's doing now, she's going to start sniffing around for that pinpoint spot of where the scent is coming out of the ground. And that's how we know she's found it. That's an alert for us that she's got something there, and then we'll go in and help her shovel out that victim.
Good girl! Good girl! Good girl! Good girl! Good girl! Good job!
At that point, it's a big playtime, big reward. We got a toy in the hole for her, and that is what she does the job for. She does everything for that toy.
Good girl! Good job!
Get some of this out of your way.
Her whole excitement, their praise-based training, instead of getting treats for reward for doing something, they get to play. They get a lot of love and they get to play. So it's a big deal for them. They find that human, and then it's just toys and tug of war and a lot of good fun. So we do that for 5-10 minutes and then pack it up and head on out. That's what the drill's all about. One of the bigger parts of having an avalanche dog is education and awareness. So it's very seldom that they actually get used for their job of digging someone out of the snow. And one of the greatest tools we can use them for is helping educate beginners about avalanche danger and avalanche awareness. Because everybody remembers a cute face rolling around in the snow. So if we've got Abbey there to help teach them about avalanches, it's much easier for the message to stick.
Yeah, one of the things that we see for next year that we'd love to accomplish is this regional certification. You know, we're working with all the local ski areas to develop not only good teams here at Schweitzer or Silver, but over at Whitefish. You know, time is of the essence. So if we can have more dogs, more teams available, the faster we can get to places. So we're really working on that. There's also a lot of people that ask, you know, how do I get my dog involved? The answer is getting on ski patrol.
It's a full career path. It's not a seasonal job. It's not a job for a season or two and then something you forget about. It's something that takes you a long time to be good at, a full 5 years to be trained in here at Schweitzer.
Because it's about 5 years worth of training that you need to go through avalanche-wise before you're even capable to be a dog handler.
Do the grunt work. If you want an avalanche rescue dog, then go dig dog holes. Go dig snow caves. Take the dogs out on scent articles. Shadow other dog handlers. And make sure that you understand what a commitment is to have an avalanche rescue dog, because their level of training requires them to be with us all day, every day, year-round. So that is not an insignificant commitment to have to a creature. Make sure that you're ready for that in your life.
To do dog drills and dig dog holes and have her around, it adds a whole nother complexity to the job. That's the big benefit for me, is getting to take her to work every day and watch her progress grow from a tiny little puppy skiing around in my coat to now she's a full-fledged real dog, can dig up 5 people if she needs to.
I wanted our relationship to be the primary reward for her training. And so whenever she accomplishes something or performs her obedience drills really well, she knows how proud I am.
They're more training us than we're training them. So it's fun to just be along for the ride.
When I walk through the village, it's constantly, oh, Annie, oh, Abby, oh, you know, and I love that part of it. I love that they know them and see them as their local avalanche rescue dogs, and that these are the dogs that are here taking care of them if something were to happen.
I would say the emotional reward has been watching her confidence in herself build as she gets better at these avalanche rescue drills, and watching her engage with other dogs and other people. You know, I hope that we never have to use the dogs for an avalanche rescue scenario. Nothing can do this job better than a dog. And so thinking about the human and dog relationship and the history of interactions between our species and our dependence on each other, I think it's really moving that we save each other's lives if we can.